All right, welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. My name is George Wright III with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. We have a continuing thought that we have had over the last couple of weeks, and at least the last week and a half, time just seems to fly, on how you can reprogram your mind, how you can really start to be consciously aware and direct your thoughts. And today I want to continue that tradition. It's going to be individuals that I've been learning from, growing from, mentors, individuals that I feel have helped me in my life. And today, I want to share with you some thoughts from an amazing thought leader named Brenden Burchard. Now, Brenden, he's written many books, many bestsellers. He's had millions and millions of views on his online videos. Some of the most successful, celebrity, popular, whatever you may call it, individuals out there have learned from his programs. He's truly a gifted leader, and I've learned a lot of things myself that I implement in my life. In fact, his book, High Performance Habits, is right on my desk at any given time. So he's written a lot of articles on the idea of, conditioning your mind, training your mind, and he says that, we all have these automatic thoughts, right? Automatic thoughts and behaviors all the time. And these things are going to create our life. But he likes to say that, it's not a matter of reprogramming your mind. And I would agree with this. It's a matter of just simply training your mind, because many of us have just automatically developed certain thoughts over our past. And it's not about, we haven't been programmed a certain way. We just literally have not been consciously training our mind. So, we struggle to master our mind, and at times, we all feel out of control. We feel, whether it's negative or emotional or overwhelmed or stressed, or especially as entrepreneurs. And so it's important, and he talks a lot about how it's important to understand how your thoughts are generated, right? How your thoughts come about. And there's really two systems of thoughts. One is they're automatically happening. Your body and your mind are going to take any past experience that has been wired into your brain, and it's going to say, listen, we've already experienced this. This is what happened, and this is how we should react to it. So your thoughts are automatic because your brain really loves to automate and optimize things. It really loves to just say, hey, let's not spend effort on that. We have, tens of thousands of thoughts, already experienced that. Here's where you go. So past experiences, whether they're bad or things like that, they're going to automatically be assumed to be the case. Now, this is usually not very helpful for us, but it is helpful that they're automatic and that you can use that same concept to program and condition and train your mind. Because that's what makes us so effective as human beings, is that our brains can just immediately optimize itself by going back to past experiences. But the second way that you can have thoughts is to consciously, when you're more mature, direct your thoughts, train your thoughts, be conscious of your thoughts and direct them. Now, most people just don't do this. They take the path of least resistance, which is also the most painful path. Right? But the highest achievers, the peak performers, the people that are successful, happy, fulfilled, they're more aware and conscious of their thoughts. They want and they know they need to have these positive, empowering, confident thoughts, not just protective, automatic thoughts, but conscious and powerful and directed thoughts. So that's what they focus on consciously. So how do you do this? How do you develop these thoughts into automatic thoughts? Well, Brenden talks about this acronym he has called RWID, which is relative weight of importance and duration. Relative weight of importance and duration. RWID, I guess, is what it is. It's a framework that he uses to be able to create and train your mind. So see, here's the deal. Most people have a lot of negative thoughts, and they're creating these negative thoughts. They're focusing on these negative thoughts. They say, hey, these thoughts come up all the time. But what you don't realize is the frequency that these thoughts come up and the focus you place on them is what's creating the training for your mind. So when you focus, so the repetition of thinking about these thoughts and how long you spend on them. So when we're negative and we see, we have these negative thoughts and we stay there, that weight and that duration is what causes them to be automatic. That's why his framework is that relative weight of importance and duration. When you give importance to a negative thought by focusing on it and you stay on it, that's going to drive it more and more and more deep into your automatic thought. The good news is we can apply this exact same formula of weight and duration to positive thoughts in order to train your mind. And so it's very, very important that you become conscious. So how do we do this? Well, step one, you have to start to become aware of your thoughts. And the way you do that is you check in with your thoughts often. You can't just make it happen when you have a negative thought and you're in a bad place. You have to make it a routine to check in often. When you're standing at the line at Starbucks, when you're driving in your car, when you're getting up in the morning, ask yourself, what am I thinking about? How am I feeling? What's going on? The first and most important step is for you to be aware of your thoughts. Remember, if your thoughts create your life, why would you not put focus on what your thoughts are, right? So the first thing is to become aware of your thoughts. The second thing is if they're negative, you have to very quickly redirect those thoughts. So as you become aware of your thoughts, as you start to say, I'm feeling anxious or stressful or negative or anything that you don't want to have in your life as far as a thought or emotion, you need to immediately redirect it. So how do you do that? Well, Brenden talks about, and many people have said, you do a couple things. You question your thought. So, why am I feeling this way? What is going on with that? Why would this happen? And then you start to visualize and redirect your thought to something more positive. And the way to do that is to ask yourself questions. Ask yourself questions like, could it be that that's wrong? Could it, when you get those text messages or you get a comment from someone, could you say, well, why am I thinking this is the first thing? And then it's like, could they be having a bad day? Maybe they didn't mean to say that. Could they have meant something else? And as you gravitate to a more positive, what you need to do is stay on that positive visualized thought or process. Stay stuck on that, because remember, the more duration and weight that you give a certain emotion or thought, the more it's going to be trained into your mind. Michael Singer talked about this in the Untethered Soul that I've highlighted a few times. You become the natural third-party observer of your thoughts, and immediately you are empowered. You are empowered. So, ways that you can really drive this home is ask yourself, why are you thinking this way? And start to feel the more positive way. Sense the more positive way. Visualize the more positive way. How would it feel to be a different process of this thought? What if the situation was positive? What if there was something you were going to learn about it? What if this is happening for your benefit? Allow those negative or disempowering emotional thoughts to be redirected and pay attention to the new direction you're giving it and give that some weight and duration. And then just repeat this process over and over and over. Be aware of your thoughts. Redirect the negative ones. Be aware of your thoughts, redirect the negative ones. Be aware of your thoughts, redirect the negative ones. Be conscious of your thoughts all the time. If you do that, you are going to spend time in an area that may not seem it's getting your results, but it's ultimately your thoughts are creating your entire life. You've got to do this. Now, if that's difficult for you to redirect your thoughts, or it's difficult to just kind of react to those things, Brenden gives a couple of exercises I really like. One exercise is write down, before this even comes up, write down 5 empowering positive questions that you're going to ask yourself 3 or 4 times a day, no matter what, and just put them on your phone, put them on whatever. You could say things like, what can I feel incredibly grateful for? How could I surprise somebody with something? How could I have more fun? How could I demonstrate love? Ask yourself questions that will create thoughts that are positive and empowering that you want to have. And ask yourself that 3 or 4 or 5 times during the day. And you'll be more aware of these thoughts and you'll build them in with more repetition. I promise, just like Brenden says, I promise that if you do this for 30 days, you will totally see a shift in your life. Now, the second exercise you could do is come up with 2 or 3 or 4 empowering words that describe your perfect or your ideal or your better self. Brenden uses words like present, excited, and bold. And when you focus on these words and you see them and repeat them often, like he'll say, I'm present, I'm excited, and I'm bold. I'm present, excited, and bold. It might be passionate and caring and generous. Whatever it is, pick these words and then repeat them to yourself like affirmations, like things that you're putting into your conscious and subconscious mind. Now, it sounds simple, but I'm telling you right now, the simplest things are the things that people don't do. And that's why they don't get the results. The more you focus on being aware of your thoughts, the more you focus on redirecting them, the more you focus on practicing, it will become automatic. It will become programmed. You will train your mind. There's absolutely no question. You just need to be automatic about that instead of automatically letting your brain do whatever it does, right? So the battle for your mind is exactly that. It's a battle. It's a battle every day. And if you can't go into battle or go into the game without a plan, without a strategy, without a practice, a consistent practice. So I'm asking you to empower yourself and start consciously creating your life by basically creating your life. Do it. Take control. Be responsible. I hope these concepts and these ideas help you. I've learned a lot from Brenden. Continue to. And more than anything else, it's not about giving you the information. It's about having you apply it. I really, really hope, most importantly, that you'll apply these thoughts and strategies that Brenden talks about. I hope that you'll give me some feedback and let me know how they're going for you. What are some concepts and things I can help you with? I'd love to be able to additionally help you in your life. And I want to ask you one additional favor. I want to ask you to share this podcast with someone that you feel it would help, or just share it with a friend. Help us to make some impact on the world. Help us to share these thoughts and ideas and share it and refer this podcast to a friend. I don't have sponsors. I don't charge any money for the mentoring and training I do, but I do ask that you share it and you help make a difference in other people's lives. And with that, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to let you go. I really appreciate you spending some time here today. For those of you first podcast, once again, this is George Wright III, and this has been the Daily Mastermind. Have a phenomenal week.